The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Those are all in different orders, but that's okay, guys. It is your diplomat, little Jace or Jason Keane. I'm fresh off a live tour here in Melbourne City. We had a successful tour, the first one we've had since we've been back from Toronto. And let me tell you what, man, the vibe and the energy was on point. We had so much LCs in the building. It was really, really, really good to have so many LCs out there with us that you know were partaking in what was the beginning of what you know is going to be Melbourne for the rest of 2016, 2017. So we had a few sign-ups. It was the first time I actually did the new presentation. And that is, actually the new presentation is really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really didn't have time to study it as much as I would have, but you know what? Ever since I came back from Toronto, um, the whole opportunity and everything is just really sunk in, and I've understood what we have in our hands a lot better. So even just looking at the slides prompted me from a lot of things that we learned, and a lot of things that just really clicked for me and I guess everybody else when we were in Toronto at the convention. So still getting over a little bit of the husky voice, but you know what? I'm nearly back to my rhino self, or like Ambassador Stacey would say, really just giving it that 10x energy right now, especially fresh off the tour that we've just had. So yeah, it was really good, guys. I literally just walked in the door and jumped on the webinar, and now I'm ready to rock and roll. So hope you guys are already locked and loaded, ready to go. We're gonna go through a little bit of basics today. Okay, a little bit of common sense, as I would like to call it, and maybe it's not so common, but you know what? This is what the webinars are for. We learn every time we jump on a webinar, and there's never too much learning to be had. So I'm going to get right into it, guys. Let me pull up the like and trust slides. Hope you guys can see that. Everyone can hear me out there in Australia land. What's up to everybody around Australia right now? I see a lot of you guys going through the names, um, and just excited really to be ambassador of the month, and given the opportunity to train with you guys, and maybe give you a little insight to the little nuances and things that I've picked up on over the years, and more importantly, picked up the little skills and things that I've picked up from my mentors in GWT. So building a like and trust, okay? Making friends, really, okay? And that's something that I guess I'm blessed with. I've always kind of had that ability to make friends ever since I was young. It is a strength of mine just to, I guess, be friendly with people. And, for those of you that don't know, we use something called Form, FORM, to make friends, okay, to create small talk and to create a conversation that we can have that isn't awkward, that gives you basically a guide of where you can kind of stick around when it comes to talking with strangers, even talking with friends. But it gives you some sort of a guide and a starting point when you're approaching the business of making friends, or even just trying to reconnect with old friends or reconnect with new friends. So, what does FORM stand for? Family, occupation, recreation, and money. Okay, that's form. Every conversation contains form, or rather, it should contain form if you're in the business. Sorry, if you're in the business of networking, form again is a great way to start. You do this every day. No matter who you speak to. One thing that I've always kind of done without knowing is actually use form. I always talk about family or how's your job. I mean, we all do it every day. It's kind of a natural tendency to go into. Maybe some of the maybe the money part isn't such a natural thing for most of us, but there's a reason why we do that. in networking, and that's because we want to identify maybe if there is some sort of problem in the person that you're talking to's life that we might be able to solve. Now, again, this is actually something that I learned recently through Leo, good friend and mentor of mine, that there's actually no particular order. Okay, so it could be Ophram, Morph, Moroff. It could be those things. It really doesn't matter, and sometimes, so I naturally make friends easily, but when I got taught form, sometimes I always felt like I needed to start at F. I needed to start at family. But as I now understand that it really, could be Morph, or Ophram, that sometimes the conversations start off at different places, and that's okay. At least that you've got three other verticals that you can go to when you're kind of done identifying and figuring out that part of form. So you could just, and this is another thing that I learned from Leo, is that you could just do one of the forms, right? It could just be one of them. You could actually just talk about family, never really go anywhere else, and build a lot of like and trust, and actually go from there, into the opportunity if it presents itself. So one thing that again, when I got introduced to form, I thought, well, I have to go through every one. But what I've noticed when I just naturally do it, sometimes it is just one of the four letters. Sometimes it is just one or two, that actually has opened up an opening for me to actually, provide a solution, which is GWT. So again, building like and trust is very, very important, because it's 66% of your business. Okay, 66% of decisions to do with business with you. Okay, are in the like and trust stage. That's a massive portion of your business. Okay, 66% of people's decisions to do business with you is built in the like and trust stage. So wouldn't it be important that you put high importance on understanding that, or understanding how to really create proper like and trust with people? Okay, and one thing is, I don't think really, you don't really need to overanalyze it, really. um, we all do it. I mean, we all have friends. I mean, I would assume that we all have friends on this call. Um, you've all had friends since primary school. You've had friends in high school. You've had friends at work. You've got friends at work right now. You've got friends right now. I mean, you didn't really form them. You just became interested in them. You became friends with them because you wanted to make friends with them. So I don't think we, really need to complicate it. Really, go out with the intention to make friends and be interested in people. Friends first, business second. Okay, if you're trying to go straight into the business all the time, intent matters, guys. Please understand that intent matters, and your intent will always come across. People's radars for BS are on point 100% nowadays. So if your intent is you just want to get to the business and you're trying to, sell them something, and even if they don't have a problem, then it's really doing you a disservice. Okay, so go out, make friends from your heart with the intent to actually make friends. And that's your 3 simple steps. Continuing on building like and trust. Step 1, build like and trust. Okay, that's your part. All right, start the conversation right. A good way to start the conversation in any conversation is giving a compliment. Okay, I mean, you could just really give a compliment and say, I mean, we were doing it all the time when we were in Toronto. We'd be sitting at a cafe and a lady would come up, serve us, and we'd be like, hey, nice watch. Thank you. Of course they're going to respond, oh, thanks. Nice handbag, nice earrings. Oh, that's a beautiful bracelet and necklace. Where did you get that from? Okay, so you're showing interest, and from there, and it could be generic compliments, as it says here. That's a lovely dress. Oh my god, gorgeous shoes. Where did you get them from? Hey man, you seem like a really outgoing person. What is it that you do? You seem like a very business minded entrepreneur. You're one of the most successful people I know. Okay, you'd say that obviously if you knew someone. Would be weird if you just met someone and you'd be like, "Hey man, you are one of the most successful people I know," and you barely know them. That's just weird. Okay, we don't want to be weird here. Okay, we want to build like and trust. You're a great friend and one that I can really count on. So these are compliments that you can give good friends, or you can give cold markets just to start up. Um, you know, conversation. I mean, we've all got it in our welcome emails, right? Everyone's received the same welcome emails. One one script that comes to mind is you can automatically just go up to someone and be like, "Hey, that's a really nice watch, man. Thank you. Cool. Look, man, this might sound like a really silly question, but do you get paid to wear that watch?" No, I don't. Okay, cool. What happens if I could show you a way where you could actually get paid to wear nice watches? Would that interest you? They're either going to say yes or no. Most likely, they're going to be like, "Yeah, actually, it sounds a little bit interesting. What do you got?" Tell you what, let's exchange details. I'll give you my business card. Actually, I forgot my business cards at home, and you can pull the Reza move and go, "Actually, I forgot my business cards. Let me grab your details, and I'll send you some information." Boom, done. Send them a video. Okay, it's really that simple. Um, so building like and trust starts with giving compliments. Okay, it's a great way to just get someone's attention, and we all like compliments. All right, who doesn't like a compliment? And sometimes we don't really know how to take compliments, but everyone loves a good compliment, no matter who you are. Okay, so once you're actually in the conversation, if you've gone, okay, you know, let's just take one of the generic ones. Okay, cool. You might be like, hey man, you're one of the most successful people I know. Like, to be honest, like out of all my friends, it's really you that has really done a lot. I look up to you. I admire you. I don't know how you've done it, but man, I really admire and I watch what you do. Hey, thanks, Jace. Cool. Now you can use form. Okay. So anyway, man, like if his name is Michael, man. So how's the family? Right? Yeah, they're good, Jace. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I've been, listen. Okay, that's one of that's really the most important part here is listening. Um, it's all about just having a normal conversation. Again, don't think it through too much. Just do what you did when you were making friends in primary school, when you were making friends in high school, when you make friends at work. You just make friends. Yeah, you're being nice to be nice. There is no hidden intent besides you're just wanting to really get to know this person. And that's it. Okay, and you never really want to say too much about the GWT opportunity. Okay, less is more when it comes to speaking about the opportunity. One thing that I always like to say if someone goes, well, what is it if it comes out in conversation, they want to know more? One thing that I always say is, look, listen, James, that's a great question, but to be honest, I can actually show you better than I can explain it to you. I'll tell you what's best to give you some information on email or Facebook? Where should I send it? Give them an option. Uh, you know, I actually learned that from Leo. You're not asking them. You're not asking them whether they want to actually see the information. You're asking them where should I send the information to? Is it your email or your Facebook? Which one? It's a yes or a yes. And then that way it's like send the information. You kind of push that aside, and they'll know that they'll get some information to do with whatever it is, well, with GWT in their email or in their Facebook. So ask questions, okay? There's a way to ask questions because sometimes I heard this the other day, which is there's a way to ask questions in a normal way, and then there's asking questions in the grand inquisitor way where it's like, why is this guy asking me so much questions? This is weird. Okay, so it's a fine line between being the grand inquisitor and being interested. Okay, and again, just be normal. Don't try and overthink it. Don't try and complicate it. Just keep it simple, right? Ask questions and listen. Okay, examples to follow. You got two ears and one mouth. Now, one great thing that I heard today earlier on before I went to the tour, I actually stumbled upon a quick video on RGWT, and it was a really great analogy that our good friend and national ambassador Leo Scala, who's actually on the call now, he used this analogy, and I'd never heard this analogy before, and it's really stuck with me. I thought it was a really amazing analogy, and it was basically when you're building like and trust, it should be likened to a baseball game. And he then continued to say that, and some of you may have heard this before, but this really clicked with me that you know in baseball you have a pitcher and a batter, and what you're doing is basically when you're building like and trust and you're asking a question, you're pitching the ball at the person who you're making friends with, and they're hitting it. Okay, they're hitting the ball, they're hitting it back to you, and you're catching it. Okay, and then you pitch it back to them. They hit it back to you, catch it. You pitch it again, they hit it again, you catch it. Now, if you're pitching, asking questions, and they're hitting it, and you're just not paying attention to it and not trying to catch it, firstly, not only is that rude, secondly, it just shows that you're not even in the game. You have no idea. You're just not interested at all. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is ask a question. They throw the answer back at you, and you grab it, and you can throw another question back at them. Okay, and stick around and drill into that a little bit more. Okay, and what I mean by that is if you're going, oh, how's the family? Oh, great. If it's Leo, if I'm talking to Leo and I'm like, Leo, so how's the family? Oh man, it's been great. I just had a newborn child. My wife just gave birth to a baby boy 6 months ago, and man, I'm over the moon. Oh, that's cool, man. So anyway, so what do you do for fun, man? did you do you feel that awkwardness and that weirdness that just happened then? I just told you, Leo just told me he had a baby 6 months ago. That's a really amazing thing in life. They just gave birth to their first son 6 months ago. He must be over the moon, and I've just gone, oh, that's great. I just grabbed that, put it in the bin, and said, anyway, what do you do for fun, man? Okay, that's weird. Okay, and if you're talking to anyone with half a brain, they're gonna be like, okay, why is that's weird? Okay, so the natural thing to do would be, really, that's amazing, man. How does it feel to be a dad? How does it feel to be a father, man? I've always wanted to know. I'm hitting 30. I'm actually getting a little bit clucky. I've been joking with the missus that I want to have some kids. How does it feel, bro? Oh man, it's amazing. Da 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 da. Great. So, hey, what's your child's name, man? Oh, it's this, it's that. Okay, cool. So, like, is it true what they say? You don't get any sleep. You dig in, man. Right? You dig in. Don't be so quick to move off something because you want to go and pitch them. Be interested. Okay, and Leo was saying that over and over and over, and I forgot which recent webinar it was, but I've read that in many places. And if you read the Bible of like and trust, if you read the Bible of like and trust, how to win friends and influence people, one of the commandments is be interested. Don't be interesting. Okay, that's when people switch off. If you want to be good at like and trust, be interested, and that's what I've always done naturally. I've actually always been interested in people and what they do and their stories and what they're telling me. You guys want the secret? I'll give you guys the secret. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the secret right now to being interested in someone. Okay, shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, you guys ready? Just actually be interested. Just genuinely be interested. That's it. There's no secret. Be interested. Okay? It's not hard. Want to know more about that person. Don't think business. Don't think money. Don't put a dollar sign on their head. think, man, I want to get to know this person, regardless whether they're in GWT or not. I want to make a friend for life. Guarantee you, you're going to build networks like you've never built them before. So people don't want to talk about them. People don't talk enough about themselves. Okay, in general. So when someone's listening to them and they're interested, they like that. It's a good feeling. Okay, and throughout that conversation, your job, okay, part of your job besides making a friend for life is to find their need or their want. Okay, you're trying to take mental notes. You're trying to identify what it is they need or they want, or if there's a problem that maybe you can solve. Okay, because there might not be. Okay, you guys need to keep that in mind. You can't give someone a solution to a problem they don't have. And that's what I see a lot of the times. And that's where we get a bad rap, guys. We get a bad rap for that. And that's where, quote unquote, salespeople get a bad rap. I think it was Leo said it. I heard him on excuse me, I heard him say it on one of the webinars. I think it was the webinar with Eddie recently, which is, why are you trying to, you're trying to why are you trying to sell someone a shovel if they're not trying to dig a hole, or something like that? They're not trying to dig a hole, then why are you trying to sell them a shovel? Okay, there's that whole Wolf of Wall Street and that whole, sell me the pen thing. Okay, but in the movie, it's kind of BS. And if you listen to, if you've actually followed Jordan Belfort and you watch him on YouTube, he actually talks about, for the movie purposes, they created that scenario. But really, when someone asked you to sell me that pen, you can't be like, oh, this is the best pen, you need this pen will save your life, this pen will cook you breakfast, this pen will take you and fly you to Toronto. You're not going to do that. First thing you need to ask is, if Leo told me, hey, sell me this pen, Jace, I'd be like, Leo, first and foremost, are you in the market for a pen? Are you looking for a pen, bro? And if he turns around and goes, nah, absolutely, I have no need for a pen, I'll be like, great. Are you sure? Yep. Okay, cool. What kind of pen do you have right now? I've got tons of pens, Jace. I really don't need one, and I'm not looking for one. Cool, no worries. I'm looking for purple trees here. If he goes, yeah, man, I'm actually in the market for a pen, great. We can start a conversation. What kind of pen are you looking for? I'm looking for a blue one. Really? I have a blue one right here. It's one of the best blue pens you will ever see in your life. So just understand that if there isn't a problem, you can't provide a solution, guys. It's very simple. Please remember that. And ask open-ended questions so people don't go yes and no. So what that means is, if I go, okay, let's use this example since we just came from Toronto. If I go to you, are you cold? That entails, or that gives a response of yes or no. That's a closed question. Okay, if you want an open-ended question, I'd be like, how cold are you right now? Oh man, I'm like really cold, like so cold right now. Okay, it's not a yes or a no. You need to describe and explain. It's not just a yes or no. Still on step one, build, like, and trust. Continued. Some great questions to ask when chatting. Keep this in mind, guys. Hope you're taking notes. Family and friends. One I always use is, hey man, where are you from? Okay, we were getting that all the time. That's a great one too. When you just have an accent in another country, it's like, hey, where are you guys from? We're from Australia. Really? Yeah, man. Where's good to go here tonight? Oh man, you guys should go here. Oh great, cool. Hey man, so how long you been at this job for? What do you do? Da 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 da. Okay, what's your background? Do you have family here? Do you have family overseas? I'm from Australia. Do you have any family over there? Nah, man, but I want to visit. Do you have lots of friends here? What languages do you speak? Okay, that's good to use with family and friends. Okay, sorry, that's good to use. These types of questions are good to use when you're trying to go through family, friends, and the F part of form. Okay, for occupation. And it's important that you write some of these down, guys, because you might get lost sometimes when you're like, oh, well, okay, I want to ask him some questions about his job, but what do I say? Okay, so we're at the occupation. What do you do for a living, man? How long have you been doing that for? Oh, man, you must love what you're doing. Is that all you're doing? Okay, do you have your own business? Have you ever thought about having your own business, bro? Okay, these are some questions that you can ask. One thing that I love doing is the reverse psychology. So someone goes to me, Man, yeah, if I go, oh, how long you been working there for, bro? Oh, 10 years. Oh, man, that's great. You must love your job, bro. Oh, nah, man, I'm just doing it because it's a job. This, oh, really? Nah, 10 years, man. They must look after you. You must love it. Nah, man, I hate it. Like, stop telling me I love it. So what I like to do is the reverse. I like to tell people that, oh, that's amazing. You must love it. And they're either, most of the time, they're going to go, no, it's not that great, bro. Okay, it's rather better them say it than you. Okay, better you. You don't want to be going, oh, 10 years, that sucks, bro. Like, why are you doing that for? Because they're going to try and find something positive to say about it. Oh, well, man, I mean, 10 years, it pays my bills. And actually, it's actually a good job, man. Like, why are you dissing my job for? So never, never, ever, 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 ever put someone's job down or anyone down. Okay, always uplift them. And that's something that I've always done. And that's something that Ronan has always taught us to do. I mean, he always preaches about it. Uplift everybody. Questions to ask about recreation. What do you do for fun? You know, do you enjoy traveling, bro? Where do you like to travel to, man? Where did you last go for a vacation, man? What are your hobbies? And remember, you need to say these in the way you would say it. Okay, so I wouldn't just go, where did you go for your last vacation? I mean, I would, but sometimes I'd be like, hey man, so hey man, where did you go for your last vacation? If you don't mind me asking, you know, these are some questions for recreation. Money. Ever thought about retirement? What age would you want to retire at? How much money would you want in the bank when you retire? Could you use more money in your life, man? If money and time wasn't an issue, what would you do? That's a good question. Because then that really brings out what they would do if they just had no responsibilities. Okay, then they'd start to dream a little. Then you'd be able to use that and identify that. Okay, and tie their need in to the benefit of GWT, which is a different webinar. Do you pay a lot of taxes? Of course you do. Everyone does. Examples of questions you can ask. Okay. Whoops, sorry guys. Bear with me. All right. Examples of questions you can ask. Have you read that have you read that book Rich Dad Poor Dad before? Okay, that's a good opener. If they say yeah, that's a great thing. That means they're open to, wealth creation. Do you know what passive income, residual income is? That's a good question to find out if they have even the slightest idea about it. I know I didn't understand what residual income was until I was about 25. Never heard of it in my life. Okay. How's the idea of earning an extra 500 to 1,000 a month sound to you? Wouldn't it be nice to own a McDonald's, a Starbucks even? Do you have 1.5 million to invest into one? Right? That's a pretty full on question. You would not ask you want to also be careful of your tonality, the way it's not what you say, it's how you say things. And Leo has a brilliant video that he's just released recently about 5 steps to closing, which I recommend all of you get on like after this because it's amazing. And the importance of tonality, what you're saying, how you're saying it, it all, the words don't matter as much as, the words matter, but how you say it matters a lot more in your tone. Okay. Because I could be like, do you have $1.5 million to invest into one? Huh? Do you? I mean, that's just pretty full on. Or I could be like, bro, silly question, but I mean, it's a silly question, but do you have 1.5 million to invest into one by any chance? Right? I'm kind of saying, look, it's a dumb question, but I mean, if you do, tell me. If you don't, that's cool. But I'm trying to make a point here. Okay. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could retire your parents? Wouldn't it be nice if your children could attend the best schools? Wouldn't it be nice if you could travel anytime you wanted to, any place you wanted? Okay, these are some really great questions that you can ask. Okay, so guys, that's come towards the end. But what I do want to do before I bring on National Ambassador Leo Scaler to just maybe drop some words of wisdom on us is just to reiterate. Remember that baseball pitching analogy. Okay, that's really important. If you're asking someone a question and they're hitting it to you back, make sure you catch it and you return it. um, and treat it like you're going out and making friends. Yeah, like that's all you're doing. Friends first, business second. If you do it like that, I guarantee you're going to get a really you're going to get a great response from people. But anyway, we're going to bring on National Ambassador Leo Scala because I don't know about you guys, but I would love to hear some words of wisdom from our National Ambassador and my good friend, Mr. Leo Scala. I've unmuted you, my brother. Are you with us?
Wow, wow, wow. I hope everybody was taking notes. I hope you guys were paying attention because that was an incredible, incredible webinar. I definitely learned some things myself on that webinar, so thank you, Lil Jace, for stepping up and training us on how to build like and trust very simply. I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that because that was amazing. The only thing that I wanted to just um, remind everybody is that, as you've heard on today's call, relationships and like and trust has nothing to do with how long you've known somebody. It has nothing to do with who they are, whether they're family, whether they're people you work with. It has nothing to do with the relationship that you have with people before you join GWT. You know, a lot of people say to me, oh, I've known this person all my life. I've got like and trust with them. Well, that's not the like and trust that we're talking about. That's the like and trust that you're talking about. So we're not asking you to build like and trust the way that you understand like and trust. We're asking you to build like and trust the way that we teach you to build like and trust. And the way that we teach you to do it, which is exactly what Jace just shared with you, is what we've been taught by our CEO and founder, Ramin Misgarlu, who has built teams of over 100,000 people as a networker himself. So he understands very well the successful way of building like and trust. So again, building like and trust is form in order to find their want and need. That's building like and trust. So if you've known somebody for 30 years and their family, and you know you think you have that like and trust with them, you actually may not. Because how do I know that you actually have that like and trust with somebody that you've known for many, many years? Is if you know the answer to the question, what does this person want and need in their life? If you don't know the answer to that question, you don't have the like and trust that we're talking about. Okay? And that's what Jace shared with you today, is how to ask questions. And another thing that Jace mentioned today is intent is important. And the intent of asking questions using form, there's an intention for that. The intention is to find their want and need. That's why we're doing that. We're doing that to figure out how can we help this person to have the life that they want. And we can't help them unless we know what they want. Once we know what they want, then it's going to make sense for us to offer them an opportunity. Because like Jay said, it doesn't make sense to say, here you go, the best shovel in the world, you're going to love this shovel, it's going to dig you the best hole in the world, and that person standing there saying, I don't need to dig a hole, why are you trying to sell me a shovel? It's just weird, right? So again, it's the same thing here. The purpose of asking questions is to figure out what this person wants in their life so that we can give them an opportunity, and then it makes sense that we're giving them an opportunity because they need one, not just because we want to make money from them. Okay? So this is huge, 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 and you know it'll allow you to be 100 times more successful than you're currently being successful right now. And so, you know, that's all I wanted to say. Once again, amazing, amazing job by Jace today. Watch the recording, share it, watch it over and over and over again. And if anybody wants to do some role playing and practicing, building like and trust, we can definitely do that. Just contact myself, Jace, any of your My Five. We'll be more than happy to go through that with you. So thank you, Jace. Well done tonight.
Thank you, Leo, man. It's always awesome to have you right there by my side, supporting me, man. It's always good to have you there, man. And yeah, exactly what Leo said, man. You heard it from the man himself. We do have a hand up. I'm going to get this hand up. I think it's Mary McGow. I think, Mary, I'm going to unmute you. I don't know if you've hit it by accident. I don't know if you want to ask myself or Leo something, but I'm going to unmute you. And let's see how we go. You're unmuted. You might need to unmute yourself. Not sure if you know how to do that or if you have a question. I'll give you about a couple of seconds to respond. If not, Mary, okay, we're going to have to go back to the mute. Guys, that's really it. Does anyone have any questions? No, we want to... Okay, cool. Done. That's us tonight, guys. Australia versus the world. And we are coming back to convention with a vengeance. And we're going to come back bigger and better than ever. Guys, have a good night. Take care. Peace.